speaking of ruling, we've spoken about a number of times on this show about the AFL umpiring and where it's at the moment. We had Andrew Dillon come out last year and say
no one's come out this year.
Thinks it's in the best position it's been in. Fast forward 6-12 months, I think it's maybe the worst I feel we've seen for quite some time.
We'll get to Easter Monday in a second, but I was there with the kids and it was one of the worst days I've seen from an umpire point.
Now, Razor Ray's doing a slot, your mate, on Fox Footy this season with Gary Lyon and Gerard Whateley. This is what he had to say about some of the decisions, in particular holding the ball, because there were a few on Easter Monday and across the round. And this is what he had to say and on David King's comments as well.
Kingy, who's one of my favourites, he talked about him being red hot on dropping the ball. That isn't a rule, and it hasn't been for 80 years. Okay? So that is a perfect implementation of the laws of the game. So you've got areas where they're making blues that they can clean up themselves. And then I think we've got some noise where others need to potentially educate themselves as well if they're going to espouse a virtue.
Wow.
I thought dropping the ball was a rule.
If it's not a rule...
I'm confused.
If it's not a rule, what are the umpires doing that signal for, which is dropping the ball? What's that? You're telling me for every game of footy I've watched, I've been cheering for or screaming out the wrong thing. Why are we yelling out ball in the crowd?
I'm sorry. We have to find out a little bit more about this because I think I've seen a gazillion times where a player has literally dropped the ball and the umpire has gone, dropping the ball.
Yeah, you've dropped the ball. And literally have said, you've dropped the ball or dropping the ball and done the signal.
You're confusing me. Stop doing that.
I am not I think we've all been for, we need to get the umpires to come out and explain what's going on. Obviously, Razor's not umpiring anymore, so he's not making the decisions and then explaining the decisions. But I feel like when I'm watching him during the week when he comes onto the show, anything that's a bit grey, he says that the umpires have been instructed to pay that. So,
he's never going to go back.
I know, but it feels like a bit of a cop-out.
Ed, it is your job this week to please find out the ruling on dropping the ball.
I'll come back to you and say
thank you very much.
Just double check the Melbourne and Richmond if it's been 10 years. I might have overquoted that, but I thought I saw something during the week.
Not far off that, I don't think.
Crazy.
Not far off it at all.
Speaking of big games, Easter Monday was amazing. It had a good feeling about it. It had a finals feeling.
87,000.
Amazing.
As I said, took the kids up and it was great to see the rivalry back to, and because it has been a little while since it was that really great rivalry. I mean, the last particularly 3 or 4 years, it's really been probably one-way traffic in Geelong's favour on the back of Hawthorn, rebuilding and all those type of things. But 87,000, as I said, incredible atmosphere. The game was fantastic as far as it was close. First quarter looked like it was Geelong were going to run away with it. I thought for the last 3 quarters, I thought Hawthorn were the better team. But again, we talk about just some horrific decisions, really. You could hear the people in the crowd they just couldn't believe some of the decisions that were made. But great work for Geelong. Connor Nash copped his whack on and grind.
Yeah. I didn't think there's no way that was deliberate.
It wasn't deliberate, but it was just completely reckless.
Completely reckless. But if he's deliberately done that, where some people have said that, then that's a 7 or 8 weeker. He's
deliberately tried to hit his body with an arm, with a big hit, and knock a ball loose, but he just got it wrong. And then that happens, and he's paying the price. Should he be sent off?
I just feel like if we end up putting that in the hands of the officiating umpires, that we're going to get one that isn't right, and it's going to make a mockery of it. It's a tough
I'm okay with it. I'm not sure how they come up with the decision, whether it's... I mean, right at that moment, there was plenty of times for the umpires to come together because Brian was getting carried off.
That is true. So, but how do they go through the process? Do the umpires make the decision on what they've seen straight away and they come together and say, hey, that's a sending off? Particularly if the game doesn't stop, it's also very difficult. Or are they saying, hey, guys, a bit like in reverse, the VAR in the Premier League, is it like, hey, we think there may have been something there that's worth sending off. Could you check for us? Or the upstairs say to the umpires, hold the game. We feel there could be an incident that we need to double check.
That's where I think we're talking because it doesn't have to be straight away. Again, I'll put my hand up. I got thrown off in the VFL, got red carded in the VFL back in 2005. And it was for having a conversation with an umpire.
Yes.
Just before quarter time, I go in, had the quarter time break, walk back out, and he goes, mate, you're off. So it didn't happen straight away. So you can give it some time. Like you said, with the VAR, you can stop the play, or someone upstairs can go, you know what, let's just stop for a second. It doesn't have to be straight. It might be a minute or two later. As long as you get the result, the right result, that's fine.
Yeah, well, this is the question. See, when you get the result, is it the right result? Now, I know VAR in the Premier League and wherever else is different, but there's been so many times where they've checked stuff and made a decision, and then a day or two later, the governing body has come out and said, oh, actually, we got that one wrong. I'd hate to think, and we always go to the extreme. I hate to think in a grand final, there's an incident similar to that, or an incident that's a bit grey, and an important player or any player gets sent off, and all of a sudden you are either down a player with a sub coming on, or if you're in the second half and you've already made a sub, you might actually be down a player.
Yeah, well, but that's part of the game. If you're going to do something that's completely silly and reckless, you get sent off.
I know, but what's the conversation on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of grand final day saying, you know what, we don't think it was there, or there's debate around saying it was probably overkill?
Are we the only sport that doesn't have virtually a send-off rule?
Yeah, potentially.
I think we are.
The NFL have send-off? I don't really know. Do they have send-off rule?
Players can get thrown off. Thrown out of the game.
America is just
basketball, you get thrown out of the game. Soccer, you get sent off. Rugby league, you get sin binned and sent off. I think we're the only sport that really doesn't have something.
I'm not. Yeah, it's a difficult one. I feel like we could chew up so much time and trying to work out if that was a sending off or not. I'm not sure where it gets to. But Connor Nash will copy 4 weeks. Bailey Smith, is that striking?
He's now my favourite player. That was outstanding. People carrying on like he could have knocked him out, mate. It was a ball to the head.
Those Sherrans
mate, if you've been kicked in the head by a football, now that may hurt. But a bloke who just throws one into his face, come on, everybody. Calm down.
Gave another little bird on the way off too.
You know what? And here's another one, Warlo. If you're going to go and chest somebody and then cop one back and then fall over like a bag of you-know-what, well, don't go around chesting people.
All right.
That's the bit that annoys me.